Welcome back to the Travsessed podcast. We're your hosts, Kim and Aaron, and we are healthcare travelers and the creators of Travsessed. And we have another week of Traveler Quickfire.
Flight crew, please prepare for departure.
Okay, this week we are going to be talking about, can your family come with you when you travel?
Yeah, this is such a good question, and it's such a typical question for people who are like in the researching stage of traveling and trying to figure out if it's for them or not. And so the quick answer is yes, your family can come with you.
Lots of families out there.
There's lots of families traveling together. There's a lot of different dynamics. There's people who both work in healthcare that take contracts together. There's a dynamic of one partner works in healthcare and the other one works from home. And so they can travel with them. There's one, where one person works in healthcare and takes contracts, and the other one might pick up an Uber job or an Instacart or do something else, like kind of in the meantime.
Or the other dynamic is one person travels, the other one takes care of the kids.
So that was my next one. Yeah. So that's a big one, right? Especially if you have like little kids, that's typically what we'll see, where one person is taking the contracts and one parent's at home. And because obviously if you are traveling with kids, then you do have to think about, how you want that to look. Because if you have kids that are in school, well, then they would need to be homeschooled, right? Because you're not going to be putting your kids in and out of school. So there's lots of things that you would have to like figure out of what you would want it all to look like. But the answer is there are lots of people who travel in lots of different ways with families, and there's so many different opportunities for
Totally.
that.
And there's just things to think about, right? Like, are you going to get a camper and do it that way? Are you going to just get a bigger vehicle and drive and stay in apartments and Airbnbs and things like that, right? So that's definitely on your family dynamic of whatever you feel. I think one thing to understand is from a travel company's point of view, like they pay for the traveler. And when I say they pay for, that means your housing stipend, your meals and incidentals, and your per diems are for one person, right? They're not going to be like, oh, you're a family of 4, like we'll throw in more to cover that. If they were finding you a place to live, they're going to find you a 1-bedroom place, like for the traveler, because that is what they're responsible for, is you while you're working. So it's not like a family of 4 gets a special, department of the travel company that now they'll find you a place that's perfect for your family. Like that would be on you to make those decisions, but you will be getting your housing, meals and incidentals if you have your tax home and able to, get the tax-free money.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's just like anything, right? It's like anything is doable if you want it, but there are more things to think about. I think especially if your partner doesn't work in healthcare, okay, well, what is my partner going to do? Like if they don't work at home. But there's so many cool different opportunities now that you can do. I mean, even for us, like we both work in healthcare. But we would do where we would rotate contracts. So it's like I would work a contract and Aaron would just be a stay-at-home husband, basically, and he would take care of the dog and he'd do the grocery shopping and the cleaning and
the cooking.
And, we were also like starting a business, so he would be taking care of all of that. And then on my time off, we would just go and enjoy wherever we were because all the chores and all the daily things were already done. And then we would flip it. Sometimes he would work and I would be home. So more times than not, that was usually the dynamic. Yeah. I was a really good.
You were.
You
from like starting our travel contracts to like where we ended, like you were the best.
Oh, I know.
Which I was nervous at first.
Well, because not only was I running the the house, but I was also running Travsessed, right? And like, I feel.
Yeah, but I'm talking in the level of like you taking care of me and like how well you did and like how I literally did not think of a thing versus like I used to come home and it would be like, oh, sorry, it's Panty Monday, like meaning you never got out of your panties. You watched all of your reality shows. There was no dinner planned. And you're like, what are you going to get for dinner?
So That's so true. But that was only the first time when I was off work for like the first time ever. And you were working, and I was like, and we didn't have we had nothing else going on, right? It's not like I had like, side projects or anything I was working on. Like, I was just home. So I was in this place of like, oh, I need to like figure out, what do I do with my time? Like, I need to get some hobbies. I need a blog,
And Panty Monday was your decision?
So, Panty Monday, I was like, wow, this is so cool. I've never been able to, on a Monday, lay around, watch my shows, and like chill. And Aaron's not even here. Like, this is the best thing ever. So I named it Panty Monday. And then I literally texted him, like, what are you bringing home for dinner? He's like, dude, I've worked all day. Like, what are you making me? And I'm like, it's Panty Monday. Like, I'm off duty.
Dude, that would literally be Chinese takeout or pizza every single Panty Monday.
Okay, I'm bringing back Panty Monday. Those were the days. Like, oh, I would love a Panty Monday.
So literally, long story short, we don't want this to be a very long podcast. We can talk about Panty Monday some other time on our Thursday podcast. But obviously, like, the one thing I want to mention is, like, I think in the information age, we get to this point where, like, you need such a detailed plan to figure it out, right? And just understanding that if it works within your family dynamic, understanding that, like, you can go travel. You understand how your family is, and you can figure out a way, and you can create your own template, but just know that it is extremely possible, and there are hundreds of thousands of people doing it.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was going to say. That I got into a tangent, but that's what I was getting at. It's like, you can figure out anything. Like, people who want to travel with dogs, totally doable. We've traveled with Mimi for 10 years. Does it mean that there's more things to think about when trying to find housing? And again, traveling with a pug is different if you're someone who's like, I want to travel, but I have 3 pit bulls. Finding housing is probably going to be more challenging for you. Does that mean you can't do it? Does it mean that there's not an option that you could figure out? Of course, but yes, it's going to take more time and thought to figure out, basically. My thoughts. Okay. I think that wraps up this quick fire, Big Daddy.
Whoop.
Big Daddy.
Well, I don't know if quickfire people understand the reference.
Okay, if you don't know, then you have to listen to our Thursday podcast, which are all about us.
Apparently, Big Daddy and Penny Mondays. Yeah.
But yeah, so if you like these quick fires, let us know. Share them out on your Instagram, and you can DM us at Kim and Aaron G. Any questions you have, any questions you want to answer. We're starting to do this where every Tuesday we're just answering a quick question about healthcare traveling. We've been traveling for 10 years. We're kind of experts at all the things. And so we're just going to be answering these quick questions. So let us know if you have questions, and please share this out with other healthcare workers or travelers that you think would get some value from this. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Okay.
I don't know why I always
Dude,
get
your sign-offs
so
are-
weird.
I know you do.
I can't help it. Can't stop doing so.